bringing you the latest news from Monterey Athletics. This is the Plainsman Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Good Tuesday night, and welcome into the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. As usual, we're going to start with Monterey and Lubbock High tonight. We're going to start with the Plainsman Fan Zone. There's a lot to talk about because these Plainsmen have a monumental game coming up. And I know, Judd, coaches always talk about each game's supposed to count the same. You can admit this one's got a little bit more meat on the bone this week. Abeline High comes to town Thursday night, game of the week, 7 p.m. at Lowry Field. When I talked to Luke in L.A. earlier, we kind of hashed out it's a showdown for part of the district championship. Amarillo High's in that hunt too. It's a big game for you guys. It has some meaning for it. It's as meaningful a game for Monterey this late in the season. I think that for David Thetford told me since maybe 2006.
Yeah, it's been a long time since Monterey's had a chance at a district title. I think we look back. I think it's the '90s. I think it was James Morton to be official.
James, yeah. As a matter of fact, you've got the article that I wrote on your wall in your office. I think I pointed that out to you the very first time I ever talked to you. That was the last time. I don't want to say that was the last time they dominated the district.
Yes, sir, and it's a good feeling. But before we started the year, back in off season, we had a template made that we put on everybody's locker because I'm real big. Is like you got to see your vision on a daily basis, and on that vision board that we created for everybody, it said to make the Texas high school football playoffs and to win a district title. Because I think if you've got a goal or you got a vision, you got to see it on a daily basis. I put it above the urinals. I put it above every locker. You go in our locker room, you'll still see it because I move all the guys into the JV locker room, and that's where we put it. We put it on everybody's locker, and we put it above the urinals because I wanted them to see it every day because if it's more likely to come to fruition if you see your goal on a daily basis. And so, guys have done a great job this year to put us in this position. Like I said, it's going to be a business trip for us again. We got to go out there and execute and do the things that we did against Tascosa. We played at a high level, and I reminded the guys today, we were fearful of Tascosa when I first arrived on campus, and we were not Friday night.
It makes a difference.
We played really good football with all three phases, special teams, defense, and offense. And, when we got out there on the field, we just played fast and played hard, and we were the more physical team, and that's a credit to our guys. We're a physical football team. We're going to play hard, and we're hungry, and, that goes back to how we trained in the off season.
I'm glad you mentioned that because we had Aaliyah, Chavez, and Bro Cole on last week and didn't talk about Tascosa. We need to talk a little bit about Tascosa. Judd, you've got with you Elijah Turner, who's a linebacker, and Luke Arrington, quarterback, who Luke's probably getting tired of seeing me. He probably feels like I'm about to move into his backyard or something. Every time I turn around, we're talking. Even Luke was even here last week for very briefly. So he got a chance. He almost had a cameo on there with Aaliyah and Bro. 7 p.m. Thursday at Lowry Field. That is on 93.7 The Eagle. I think David Thetford's doing the game on TV. I think Clint Scott and I'm not sure who his color guy is going to be. Is it Jacob? No? Okay. But you guys are getting the royal treatment. You're getting David Thetford on TV, so people actually get to see David's face on TV even. So that's big time in Lubbock.
Yeah, I'm excited about the opportunity. Like we mentioned, it's been since the 90s that Monterey's had an opportunity to play for the district title, but I'm excited about Monterey football. We got our 7th grade A team, Evans, that won a championship last night. We got our 8th grade A team that's playing for a district championship tonight, and that's what we talk about from 7th grade to 12th grade is about winning championships, and we're real excited about where Monterey football is going. And then Thursday nights, to say that we got a chance to play for it's exciting. We just got to go out and stay together and play for each other, and not ourselves.
I mentioned to you that Eric Ward's nervous. He told me last night he was nervous because his son's playing in one of those games for Dunbar. You don't have to worry about that for quite a few years. Your little boy is how old?
He's 2.
Oh, yeah, you got 14 years to maybe, unless you throw him out there as a freshman maybe. So I want to mention this before we get too close to the break. Just kind of a somber thing. Monterey graduate Leslie Broadhurst, the longtime Randall coach, passed away this week. I don't know if you got a chance to meet him. He's a legend. He's a legend in West Texas. Been a long time at Randall. Took them to the state tournament 3 years ago. Got diagnosed with a brain tumor last year and fought a very valiant fight. Made it a year with that thing. And just if you talk to enough people who have been around Monterey through the years, Leslie's, even though he was up at Randall, he made an impact down here as a player, as a person, just in all kinds of circles. So kind of a somber note, but I bet he's going to be looking down Thursday night rooting for his Plainsmen because I don't know if he played football back then for James Odom, but I bet that he knows James Odom, and you've met James Odom a few times. That guy's excited about what you guys are doing. I heard how he was all dang right bubbly last Thursday at the coaches' luncheon when he was talking to you. Yes,
sir. That means a lot, that people still pay attention to Monterey and the things that we're doing at Monterey. And a lot of people in this city are excited about Monterey football. Every time I go to a gas station or the grocery store, they're like, man, Monterey football is different now. And that's good to hear. We've come a long way in the last couple of years. And so we're excited about, Thursday night. There's a couple implications, if we just win, we share the district title more than likely. But if we win by 12, we get the number 1 seed. If we win by 2, we get the number 2 seed. If we win by 1, we get the number 3 seed. If Amarillo High beats Tascosa the last game of the year, that's what everybody says. But there's there's still a lot of football left, so we don't go over those things. As coaches we do, but we don't talk to the players about it. I don't even mention a district title. I just want our guys to focus on doing their job, staying together and treating it like a business trip and just going, taking care of our job, and the rest will take care of itself. Just like Tascosa, we didn't play it up. We just went into it, hey, it's a business trip. We got to stay together. We got to play hard, and good things will happen. And that's been the message every week.
Well, I mentioned this to one of your fellow coaches this week. You guys have to take the Al Davis approach. Just win, baby. That's the best thing you can do this week. You guys are going to be ready to talk after we come back from the break? I feel like you're sitting here listening to us. You're probably getting tired of listening to old dudes talk, so we'll let you get on the microphone here in a second. Abeline High at Monterey, 7 p.m. Thursday at Lowry Field. That is going to be on 93.7 The Eagle, and I believe Fox News Now is the TV broadcast, and LISD TV will have everybody's showing that game. Everybody wants to get involved in that one. That's as big a game as there's been at Lowry Field this year, maybe in the last couple of years. So we'll be back to talk more about that. We'll talk about a little bit about the Tascosa win, too, because we don't want to leave that. We don't want to let that get too stale. So we'll be back on the Plainsman Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the latest news from Monterey Athletics. This is the Plainsman Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Thursday.
Welcome back into the Plainsman Fan Zone. I'm Randy Rosetta. This is 100.7 The Score. I'm joined, if you're watching on TV, to my far left by Judd Thrash, I want to make sure I get Elijah Turner right. I was about to say Elijah Williams. I don't know who Elijah Williams is, but I don't want to give him any credit. And Luke Arrington. We're going to talk just a little bit about Tascosa because I want to go through some of these numbers. And I know the offensive numbers are impressive. 569 yards. This guy to my left, the ball hit the ground 3 times. What's going on with that, Luke?
Well, it's efficiency. That's what it is.
For 226 yards. But, Judd, I want to talk about the defense because when I talked to L.A. earlier today, your last 3 games on defense, that's where things have turned around as much as anything. And to shut Tascosa down, we talked the week before about that offense can be tricky. What have you guys done defensively that the defensive coordinator and head coach are happy about?
I think, we've done a tackling circuit. That's where we've cut down on our missed tackles from the beginning of the season. We probably should have been doing a tackling circuit all along. I knew better. But we got back to that, and then, going to the ground in practice has helped, being just more physical. And then we've changed up some different things on our defense, like some guys in some different positions. It's helped us. Elijah, what do you think has helped us?
I promised I'd let them talk. So,
well, basically what he was saying, tackling circuit, helped some of our guys, including me, not miss many tackles, play fast, come downhill fast, break down, lower your shoulder, just be an all-around good defensive player.
What do you think helped us against Tascosa?
Just us staying together, being together, helping one another when we made a bad play. Because I know I made a couple bad plays when we played Tascosa, and my teammates helped me keep my head up a little bit. Just staying together, cheering each other on if we make a good play. And yeah.
Tell me about your nose guard.
Deuce Moore,
who I think people know as the running back.
I think did he play nose guard?
Mm-hmm.
Did he? Yeah, he did. Deuce Moore, Welton Ansley, all them guys, especially them two. I feel like Deuce, he plays real hard. He's physical, real physical. He's not scared contact. That's what I like about him. He's not afraid to get back there to the quarterback, especially in Tascosa's offense, which is really, really fast. Same thing for Welton. He's not really scared to get back there. Just all around physical guys.
All right, we'll talk about the offense since you're here, Luke. You guys, I mentioned 569 yards, and the guy who covered the game for another website up in Amarillo told me that you guys came out and just clicked from the get-go, that there was no coughing and sputtering. You guys just went out there and got going immediately. What was clicking so well?
I think just all around, we were firing on all cylinders. I mean, run game, pass game, just being able to execute at a high level. I went into the game. I mean, we knew they were a really good D-line from the get-go. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of pulled the O-line aside and I was like, we go as y'all go. And so they, sure enough, they played their butts off. And when the O-line plays their butts off, it allows us to do a lot of things in the back end that we need to do.
Hey, there's another pretty good linebacker who plays running back for you guys too, Kyrie Baxter. And he didn't get the ball a ton.
But when he did.
But he made something out of it when he made 5 touchdowns.
Yes, sir.
How good was he against them?
Kyrie's a heck of a player. He's a great kid. He listens. He always wants to learn. But just having him in the backfield is just another weapon. He can block for you. You give him the ball, he'll make something happen. He does not like to go down. There would be some plays where there's 5 people jumping on his back. I'm like, Kyrie, just go down. He goes, no, I don't like to get tackled in the backfield. I was like, well, there you go. That's why he had 5 touchdowns. But overall, I mean, it's just awesome having great running backs like that, like Deuce, Dez, Kyrie, just having those guys in the backfield to support you.
Judd, are you able to trade carries for tackles with those guys? If you tell them if they go out and get a few tackles, we'll give you the ball a few times.
It's funny because in practice they spend the majority of their time on defense. They don't get much offensive practice time. They know what we do, and so they spend most of their time with defense. And those guys are warriors. They play both sides, and that's kind of how I've done it since I've been here. We got a lot of guys that go both ways. I want the best players on the field at all times, and kind of got that motto from where the other places I've been. We've done that. Denton Ryan does it. A lot of teams do that. They're going to utilize their guys, and so I felt like it's helped us. Like I said, those guys are warriors. They play both sides. So Judd, or either you or Luke rattle off those offensive linemen's names because they don't always get their names called out.
I'd be honored. We'll go left to right. Left tackle, Brady Curry. Then my left guard, Felipe Pacina. Center, Luke Snodgrass. Right guard, Jacob Mosley. And then my right tackle is Mekhi White. And
there you go.
They all do their job to the best of their ability, and we go and they go.
I know a writer who's mentioned them a few times, but they don't get all the attention they should. And that's not just your offensive line, that's everybody's. We'll be back to talk more about those guys and other Monterey Plainsmen on the Plainsman Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score after this break.
Bringing you the latest news from Monterey Athletics. This is the Plainsman Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Plainsman Fan Zone on a Tuesday night on 100.7 The Score. Elijah, I want you to jump back in here because you look at the numbers for Abeline High, and they've scored, in my head I had it, 42 points in every game but 2. But last week they did score 42 points. Tascosa found a way to slow them down. So you have a little bit of a blueprint. But what do you guys have to do to kind of keep that offense cooling its heels a little bit and let your guys go out there and do their thing?
Just be a way more physical team than they are. Dominate, run sideline to sideline. Even if they do get a good play, just keep our heads up. Encourage each other to be better. Keep each other keep each other chins up. Just play our parts in this game. We each have an assignment that we each, that we have it's an assignment we each have to complete. just have to complete our assignment. Then if we do that, then it'll go perfectly for us.
From the very first week this season, Coach compared what you guys saw at Choctaw to what you probably were going to see against Abeline High in terms of playmakers, athletes. Do you see that when you look at video? Do you see some similarities?
No, I do not.
No?
No.
Choctaw had a few more?
Yes, way more. Their offense. Choctaw's offense was something else. But it made it way slower in the game. Seeing a really good Oklahoma team like that, it made it way slower for – I hope I'm not just talking about me, but the rest of our defense. Then, yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, Luke, if Abilene comes out and puts up some points, how important is it for you guys not only to answer but also stay patient? That's, to me, it doesn't get talked about a lot. It's offenses sometimes have to stay patient in those shootout games too, because you can't go out and try to hit a home run every time. What do you guys have to do if they are able to put up some points?
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to trusting the coaches and like understanding the play calls, understanding the scenarios. And when we do score, you can't get too high because, I mean, who knows? They could come out and score again. So you can't get too high, you can't get too low. You got to keep the guys in check on the sideline, and I think it'll take care of itself.
Last year, you guys' offense was different, obviously.
Right.
If you got behind, it was a little bit hard to get that engine revved up. But this one, you guys you're throwing it for about 200 yards a game. I think you guys are running for about 250 a game.
Right.
So you have some different ways to attack
Right. Yeah.
defenses.
I mean, I think if they take one thing away, we always have an answer for something else, and so that's how it's been all year. That's part of the reason why we've been so successful. In my opinion, I think we've just had an answer for everything. If they take this away, we'll just do that. And so I think that's what we're going to have to do coming out in this game.
All right, you guys get a chance to make Coach blush here a little bit. We talked about this earlier today. You guys were 1-4,
right?
And that when you're a high school guy, that can be a lot. I mean, you can find a white flag and start waving it. You guys didn't. At that point, I think Coach found something that worked to motivate you guys.
For sure.
Explain what that was. He's talked about it, but I want the players to kind of talk about it.
Yeah, no. I mean, the coaches, all the credit in the world to them, especially Coach Thrash, just kind of setting that mentality inside of us of, adversity is going to hit every game. How are you going to respond? And I'm sure you've heard, but just our teammates sharing their stories and how adversity affects them, and how when you get adversity hits you in a game, it's very minuscule to the adversity other people face in their life. And so football is bigger than life. And so that, when adversity does strike, you got to be able to handle it the right way, like Coach Thrash has been preaching this whole time.
Elijah, when you heard some of your teammates tell those stories, how much did that hit you in the gut and in the heart and kind of make you focus on what you needed to do on the football field?
It kind of hit me hard a little bit. Especially KJ's story, it pushed me to be better on the field, go harder. Because if I don't do my job, then I feel like I'm letting them down, and I do not like feeling like that, letting my teammates down, because we all have a part on the field, and I just want to be great for them.
Last thing, Judd, you get to finish us off. What do you want to see from your guys from 7 to 10 p.m. Thursday night?
Just to embrace the opportunity, to be excited to be a Plainsman, and be excited and realize what has got us to this point. Hard work, dedication, because we have grinded. It's like I told them today, we're not in this situation for no reason. We have worked and worked and worked relentlessly over the last couple of years to get in this position. And I told them, do not forget about that. Don't forget about what's got you here. And so don't forget about our hard work. So when we go out on the field, own it and understand why we're here.
The Plainsmen do that Thursday night, 7 p.m., Abeline High at Lowry Field. This is Randy Rosetta. We'll be back after the break.